I still haven't come to terms with that. I'm like, why not me?
So when I was talking to your brother Garrett the other day, I'm like, what are some of the toughest things that Lincoln's gone through and how did he get through it? And he's like, well, two have happened recently, one in OU departure and two in Dave Nichol. What impact did Dave have on your life?
Yeah, he's the original one that opened the door for me at Texas Tech. And when I first got there as a walk-on quarterback, he was the young coach that took me off to the side and really taught me everything. And then when I became a young coach, kind of got me started there as well. And so yeah, he was just as important as any figure in my coaching life.
A young 18-year-old isn't going to go to the head coach or to somebody else, and Dave was kind of his spot. So I think that was important to Lincoln when he started, that he's always really invested in young guys and treated them the way Dave treated him.
Dave loved Southern California. He was single. This was just his dream to come coach here and kind of back with all of his guys again. All of a sudden you get the news that he's sick, and it's just just the highest of highs to the lowest, one of the just sickest things I've ever seen.
Because you guys are on a plane for the holidays, and I think Dave says something to your wife where you realize he needs to go to a doctor. Kind of take it from there.
Dave tells us that he hasn't been feeling great. He had a few other medical complications in the past, but
he had Crohn's.
Crohn's,
disease,
exactly.
Right?
Yeah, so he had always dealt with a few things, but he just described a few things he was going through that was a little odd and unique, and thought he needed to see somebody. And we got our team doctor involved, who was phenomenal with him the whole way through. And then we got the news not long after that that it was cancer.
And I think Caitlin was his emergency contact, and I guess the doctors couldn't get in touch with Dave for 10 hours or something of one period, so they call her.
Yes.
How did you guys find out the severity of it?
It was progressive. He needs just one break to go his way, one thing to come back and say, you got it. Here's the path forward to recovery, how we're going to treat it. And it felt like every step was just not the news that you wanted to hear. And
was it just caught too late?
Yeah, caught too late, and I think complicated by Crohn's and some of the things that he had before.
And compounded by COVID.
Correct. Yeah. Correct. Somebody close to you passing away is never easy, especially never easy when they're young and have a lot of life left to live. And then I think you add on that, he lived here with us. The last several months of his life.
He didn't need to be by himself, that we could move him into our house and help facilitate care for him.
Why was it important to you guys to do that?
It's what you would do for anybody that you loved. It was an honor to spend his last days with him and to love on him and show him, he was so good to us for so long, and we loved him.
How did you guys handle it when he was here?
Just kind of like he was another member of the family. I am thankful that if he was going to go through it, he was here with us, because there was a lot of time that we had together that we wouldn't have had. The whole time you're like he's one of the best dudes, and you're like, why would this happen to him? And I still haven't come to terms with that. I'm like, why not me? And I still, for a dude like him, I don't know, some of the things in life there's not an explanation for.
I know there's a really special night though, before you flew him home, where everybody came together here. Tell about that evening.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was, we'd all been at the office. We invited a lot of people over. His family, his brother was in town and his wife. So they were here. A lot of the coaches that knew Dave, that had worked with him, everybody came over. And it was one of those days, it just energized Dave. He wasn't eating very much at that point, and he ate like a Viking. It was awesome. He was just eating, and everybody was having a good time. It was like we kind of all forgot about it for several hours that night. We're laughing, joking, telling old stories. He was a master impersonator, one of the funniest human beings. So he was he was just running the whole room. And we took a great picture out back, and Caitlin has since put that in all the guys' offices that were a part of it.
And I know Caitlin was stressing about the day the flight was, back home, but that obviously timing worked out perfectly. Why was it so important to you guys to make that happen?
Yeah, that was huge. I knew he wanted to get back home. He wanted to see his dad, and certainly his dad wanted to see him. And we had a sense that there was a real sense of urgency behind this. And thank goodness we did. If we wouldn't have done it or done it any later, we wouldn't have made it, because he ended up passing away the next morning.
Caitlin says that period of your guys' life was the hardest you guys have ever had. Going through that with Dave gave you guys more purpose amid the nastiness of the OU exit. And I'm curious your thoughts on that.
Going through the deal with OU, which I get it was our decision, right? We caused it. I understand that. Was very, very difficult. For sure one of the toughest things we've been through. But then you put that up next to going through that with somebody who's fighting for their life. In some ways it compounded the tough things you're going through, but I think took our mind off of it. And yeah, it's like, we're okay, right? There's levels to what people are going through. And some time passed, over a year now. I don't know that I've completely processed it yet. It's still at times doesn't seem real. Life
is short, and love on the ones you love and take care of the people you can. And it was an honor. It was time that we are thankful that we got to have with him.